Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. And today I have got quite a bit of news to get through. I've got almost a whole side of writing, of notes, of things that I want to talk about. But I had to put at least one or two things in the title, and unfortunately I can only fit so many characters in. So I've gone with probably some of the bigger stories of what's been happening in the last couple of days, because I didn't do a live chat yesterday. So we're going to catch up on the news that Harry and Meghan have issued a press warning to, of course, not just the UK media, the world's media, though I think it's probably more directed at the UK media, but we'll get into that very, very soon. Also, Kensington Royal and Sussex Royal Instagram accounts have now surpassed 11 million followers on each. We're talking about that. We'll also be talking about Lady Kitty Spencer, of course, the niece of Princess Diana, cousin, of course, to Harry and William, who has been advertising more milk. Yes, you heard me correctly, milk. The royals seem to love their Jersey herds of milk, don't they? So we'll be talking about that. Also, Prince Charles, as we know, has been attending the World Economic Forum in Davos. He made a speech. He's now actually in Israel. The Duchess of Cambridge, Catherine, has been out and about. She went to Cardiff and she was asking 5 big questions. We'll be looking at that. Also, I will share the survey link for that. So if you want to take part in that survey, you can. Also, she visited a female prison yesterday as well. Princess Eugenie has posted a new surprise 2-year anniversary photo, which we'll be talking about. The Queen has also not attended Sandringham today, which she does every year. She attends this one meeting every year, so we'll be talking about that and why she missed it. And also anything else, any other comments or anything that I've missed, please let me know. And if I catch a look at it on the live chat, I of course will try and answer all your pressing questions. So first of all, let me just go to the chat, which is coming up quite smoothly today, and I hope we don't have any buffering issues, because I think there was some in the previous video. For those of you wondering, and Prince Charles met Greta Thunberg too. We'll talk about that. I am wearing the Queen's Brazilian aquamarine tiara today. This is a replica. I do think it is stunning. I probably don't wear it enough, but it is one of the larger ones in my collection. And I'm also wearing a new brooch that I was gifted over Christmas from a viewer, so thank you so much. But there we go, that's today's outfit. And also just a casual t-shirt, because we are in that kind of mood. So let's first of all kick off with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Harry and Meghan, of course, issue legal warnings over the photographs that were taken. So in my previous live chat video, I spoke about how everybody has been not everyone, lots of people have been speculating that the photographs were staged and set up. I thought it was very pertinent in the last live chat to mention that is what people are saying. But no sooner had I gone offline than the phone rang for a moment. So I went back onto Twitter, and literally no sooner had I gone live, I went back onto Twitter. A tweet by Omid Scobie, which confirmed that Harry and Meghan had actually issued a legal warning. So I must like to point out that a warning is not the same as action. It's almost like saying, if it's basically saying we aren't going to take legal action this time, but if you do this again, if you repeat this again, then we are going to take steps. And of course, there are different laws in Canada. Lots of you have been telling me about these different laws. Now, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know quite how different they are, but I think they are a little bit more stringent in terms of privacy protection. In particular, I'm hearing from British Columbia. So there we go. And I'll read a little bit more about that. So They have issued legal warnings to the media after photographs were taken in Canada. Now, some people, I read comments, were saying that those were old photographs. They were taken in the UK. They were not taken in the UK. They were taken in Canada. They are recent photographs. In fact, there was two police. Now, at the time of making the last live chat, I believed that both of them were UK protection officers, but it turns out that one was a UK protection and another was a Canadian protection. So lawyers say the photos of the Duchess walking her dogs and carrying her son were taken by photographers hiding in bushes and spying on her. They say she did not consent and accuse the photographers of harassment. The couple say that they are prepared to take legal action, obviously, if that goes further. They are believed to be alarmed by the paparazzi activity near their current base on Vancouver Island, British Columbia. Lawyers say there have also been attempts to photograph inside their home using long-range lenses, and they accuse the paparazzi of being camped outside the property. Under laws in British Columbia, the Duchess may have grounds for a legal case if she can prove her privacy has been violated, although freedom of the press and expression is guaranteed under the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedoms. So there we go. And I think it kind of proves that the media is not going away. Just because they have stepped back, they are transitioning into a new life. The media is not going anywhere. They have not gone away. And I would like to see how far the media want to push or test Harry and Meghan. Obviously, the gloves are off. They are not under the same protection that the other royals would be in terms of if they were spotted out walking. So the press do have an informal agreement with the royal family when it comes to not publishing photographs of royal children, of royal minors, when they are out and about in public spaces. Obviously, the press has decided the gloves are off and they decided to publish these photos. Now, I haven't seen a retraction. I haven't seen any of the UK news publications or indeed over the world that have actually shown these photographs. I haven't seen them taking them down. I haven't seen there being any kind of retraction. But what is important to look at in the future going forward is what will they do next? Will they publish photos? We don't know. We await. We watch and wait, literally. Let me see what people are saying on this issue before I move on. Dort says it's getting worse for them. Miriam says the rogue media is about to get their butts kicked. Quite possibly. It depends how far the media want to push, I guess. Lisa says, what is Andrew doing? He was seen a few weeks ago going in and out of Buckingham Palace. But as far as, we don't have an Andrew Cam. So as far as I'm aware, he's just existing at the moment. He doesn't have any royal role as such to speak of. He's not been carrying out engagements. He was seen on Sunday with the Queen at church, but in terms of work or anything like that, just existing, I would say. Let's scoot down and see what people are saying down the bottom. GMM says, you are conflating two different things here. Paparazzi isn't the same type of intrusion as writing dishonest stories. This doesn't prove that they were protected in the... Oh, no, I am not confusing two different things there. I was referring to paparazzi photographs and paparazzi photographs only. I was not even mentioning, I didn't even mention the dishonest or untrue stories that have been written. That is a completely separate issue. So no, I was not conflating two different issues. They were protected under informal UK royal stroke press agreements for photographs being published, not there is no agreement about fake stories, is what I'm trying to say. So no, I have not been conflating two different issues. They are two different issues, and I was not mentioning the one. JC Sterling says, all of this has made their photos more valuable for paparazzis. Yes. Vivian says, the British media, they are going to be sued for lots of money if they publish any unauthorised photographs of the Sussexes. Again, I want to see how far they're going to test it. Are they going? Let me know what you think. Do you think the British press are going to test Harry and Meghan? Do you think that they will publish further photographs? And how do you think Harry and Meghan will respond to that? I think we already have a clue in the fact that there are 2 ongoing legal issues already from Harry and Meghan towards the press. But let me know what you think the press will do, and of course Harry and Meghan's response to that. Right, I'm going to move on now to the next issue, which is of course Lady Kitty Spencer advertising milk. So we've already had Peter Phillips advertising milk, and now we have Lady Kitty Spencer advertising milk too. Now I don't think I had anything, any links to share. Oh, I did. So here we have again the advert. So I will post a link to the advert. There we go. And yeah, again, it's this weird thing with milk. They seem to love their milk, don't they? So yeah, she's dressed in green and she's advertising a rival company's milk. Now, it is important to note that she is not, although she's Princess Diana's niece, her father is an earl, that she's a member of the aristocracy, but she is not a member of the royal family. She is a private individual. She can advertise and make money any way that she wants to. There has been, I suppose, no real accusation that she's used her royal connections. For example, in the advert, I don't think they said anything of the sort of I don't think they mentioned her connection to Princess Diana, let's put it that way. So I don't believe that she's kind of trading off her connections. I think there was more justified criticism aimed in Peter's direction, seeing as he was described in the advert as being a British royal family member. But I just thought I'd mention that also there seems to be this weird thing with advertising milk in China. So yes, let me just see what people are saying about the whole milk issue. Miriam says, rival to her relative Prince Philip's milk sponsor. Yes, I do believe it is. GM says, yes, they did say she had family in the royal family. I have not seen that because it was in connection with the British Museum. And I don't think in the advert it says anywhere about there being a connection to it. No, I don't believe it does. I mean, there may have been articles written referencing it, but I don't think the advert itself references it. Right, I'm going to move on to the next story. So, Prince Charles was in Davos for the World Economic Forum, where he did meet Greta Thunberg. As we know, Greta Thunberg, the teenage, I suppose, campaigner. She is the environment campaigner. She is, I suppose, the poster girl at the moment for the environment. And as we know, this was a meeting of two minds because Prince Charles has been championing the environment, world issues of this nature for 40 plus years. So I think, I mean, I don't know, I didn't see in her face a kind of fangirl moment. I'm not entirely sure if she knows entirely what Prince Charles's record on the environment. But anyway, the two did meet. I think I could see more of a fangirl moment, I think, in Prince Charles's eyes in the photographs, which I thought was quite nice. I think that, I think Prince Charles's speech, it was almost 30 minutes long. It was very, very much about, well, he mentioned 10 practical actions. Obviously, I'm not going to go into detail what the 10 practical actions are. It was very, very long, and Prince Charles explained them very, very eloquently and well. So if you haven't seen my video on his speech and you want to know more, do go and watch that. But basically, everything hinges on a sustainable world and sustainable economic growth. So Prince Charles recognises that there has to be, there has to be still money made. You know, money is still going to be a big part of everyone's future. It's what makes the world tick. However, what he's saying is we can harness that. We can harness the human's desire to make money with sustainability. We can have sustainability, sustainable economy that can still grow markets, and that there is a sustainable market out there, which of course is at odds with what some political leaders think out there. So Prince Charles's speech, I think, was very, very important, and I think there may be more collaborations with Greta. Maybe I think definitely it's a meeting of two minds. So the theme of the meeting in Davos was stakeholders for a cohesive and sustainable world. Obviously, the whole emphasis is on sustainability. Jerry says she isn't a nice person. Nobody wants her back here. What? Are you talking about Greta? Oh, don't talk about Greta like that. Don't tell Charles. Don't tell Charles you said that. Little Annie says no one can tell Kitty Spencer what to do. She's not a member of the royal family and can do whatever she likes. Indeed. GM says, do you think he's a hypocrite? He chartered a private plane to get there. Do you remember when I didn't bring it up. It was brought up in the press. I think you seem to be getting things a little bit conflated here. I comment on what goes on in the press and what goes on within the royal family. I don't make things up. I don't pull things up. I comment on what the topics are of the day. So yes, I do remember when it was a really big issue in the media. Everyone was talking about Harry and Meghan taking private planes. I think the difference was Harry and Meghan had just, well, Harry in particular, had just kind of raised an issue of people taking more economical forms of transport, and in particular he did mention planes, and then he was seen within a short space of time taking lots and lots and lots of private jet flights. I'm not saying the criticism was justified, but you can kind of see how it was spun from the press point of view when obviously they had the narrative that they were pushing at the time. This particular case, Prince Charles has not made any issue of necessarily transportation and flights. In fact, in his Davos speech, he did specifically mention air transport, and he did say that one of the things that needs to be done is he mentioned a whole range of things, including, I think, maybe hydrogen-propelled planes. But that was one of the things, I think, in his 10 steps that he said needed to be worked on. Also, he was going on to Israel straight away from Davos. Now, of course, we all know the issues regarding Israel. I'm not going to go into it. But for his safety, just the same as it was said for Harry and Meghan, that they would take private jet flights for matters of their own security and safety, it was deemed that Prince Charles needed to take a private jet because of where he was going on to. He was going on to Israel, where he needed a private jet for matters of safety. And that issue was still standing, obviously, with Harry and Meghan as well. If they were advised to take a private jet, then that would have been taken. We don't know anything about Prince Charles with relation to offsetting any private jet use. Nothing has been mentioned or raised in the press. So maybe something might come up about that. Right. I'm going to move on from that issue, and we are going to talk about the Duchess of Cambridge in Cardiff. So she has been asking 5 big questions, and some of you may want to know what those big questions are. So she has been visiting local charities in Cardiff regarding this. So here are some of the questions. So it is a survey, and I will post a link to the survey. I'll also post it in the description box as well, so you can do it if you wish to. So the questions are: what do you believe is most important for children growing up in the UK today to live a happy adult life? Next question: whether the survey taker believes nature or nurture has a greater role in childhood development. Also, which period in a child's life is the most important to create health and happiness in adulthood? And there will probably be a drop-down box. Next one, how the mental health of a parent or carer influences the development of their child. I imagine there will be a drop-down too. And the fifth one, whether parents, society, or shared responsibility between both give children the best chance of health and happiness. And I'm going to go to the 5 Big Questions website. For those of you, obviously, now this is just for the UK. I mean, you can try. I'm sure if you're somewhere else in the world, you could try and do it and see what it says. And if you've tried it, maybe leave a comment once I've finished being live. But there is the link to the 5bigquestions.org. And yeah, why not give it a go? If you're in the UK, literally give it a go and see. There we go. So I'm just going to go back to there. But I think it's a really, really big initiative. And of course, Catherine is really getting her work stuck into the early years and the impact that has on adults in adult life, obviously. And she is really, I think, going to break down a lot of barriers and really try and get to grips with everything during 2020. Right, let's just scoot up a little bit. Right, I don't think anyone else has any further comments about... Oh yes, no, there was one other thing as well. So yesterday, because of course these engagements were spread over 2 days. So the first day was the Birmingham think tank, which isn't a million miles away from where I am. But she also visited yesterday a children's charity and Her Majesty's Prison Send. So Send is the prison's name. She spoke about being isolated after the birth of George. So this goes back to a time when she lived in Anglesey, on the island of Anglesey, and when Prince William was doing his helicopter training and he was working night shifts, and she spoke about how she felt isolated after the birth of George, because of course she would have spent a lot of time away from friends and family, a husband when he was working night shifts, and obviously if you're working night shifts you have to sleep in the day, so she felt isolated too. And I think, it was a really, a big moment for her to open up and talk about those struggles. So obviously that must have been a mental health struggle that she faced shortly after the birth of George on the island of Anglesey. Let's just see what people are saying. Right. Okay. I'm going to move on to Princess Eugenie's new Instagram photo. So Princess Eugenie has finally come back to Instagram. As we know, after everything, all the issues surrounding Prince Andrew, the York family took a step back from social media. Shortly after Christmas, the Duchess of York started posting again on Instagram, but it was only until today that Princess Eugenie has come back to Instagram. And she was quite a prolific Instagram user up to that point. So she's back, and the occasion is to post a photograph on the 2-year anniversary of the day that they marked their engagement. So, well, not marked it, announced the engagement, I should say. So, welcome back to Instagram and social media, Princess Eugenie. And I really enjoyed that photo. Let me just see. I made a video of that. So if you want to see the photo, you can obviously go and watch the video. It's the one before this one. And I also included a few photos as well from her Instagram account relating to the engagement, the wedding, and all that kind of thing. So if you want to go and see that, do go and check out that video. But I thought it was really, really nice that she's finally come back to Instagram. I'm just reading some comments. There we go. I don't think there's any particular comments to read. People are talking about trolls and other kinds of things. Now, I also want to talk about the Queen today. So, every year, whilst the Queen is still technically on her winter break, she's still on her Christmas break, she attends the Women's Institute. So, she is a member of the Women's Institute, and her local branch is actually the Sandringham branch. She attends one meeting a year on the same meeting every single year, and they always have a guest speaker. Today's guest speaker was Hugh Edwards. The Queen couldn't make it, and she couldn't make it because she's got a cold. I think she's otherwise in good health, but she does have a cold. I mean, we all know that sometimes we feel a little bit run down, and when we feel a little bit run down, we are kind of subject to picking up bugs and germs and all the rest of it. So, it lowers our immune system and we can pick up kind of bugs and things quite easily. The Queen has had, bearing in mind she's 93, she has had arguably, the most stress that she's probably had in a good number of years over the last couple of months. She's had everything that's been going on with Prince Andrew. She's had everything that's been going on recently with Harry and Meghan. That is a lot. Oh, and also obviously Philip's health as well. So she's had a lot of stress, and she's caught a cold. So she wasn't able to attend the Sandringham meeting. So I want to say from myself and from everybody who subscribes to Royal Reviewer, 98,000, thank you. We wish you all the best and a speedy recovery, Mom. Your Majesty, get better soon. I'm sure she'll perk up and pick up. She is a very resilient woman. Elegant, gorgeous, beautiful, a goddess amongst humans. And I'm hoping that she will get better. So, mwah, this is for you, Your Majesty. Mwah, get better soon. And now I want to talk about the second story that I put in the title of this video, which is of course Instagram again. So Kensington Royal, the Cambridge's Instagram account, and Sussex Royal, the Sussex's Instagram account, have finally broken the 11 million followers barrier, which is a really, really big, huge step. And of course, it is remarkable how many the Sussexes have gained in such a short space of time. Obviously, the Kensington Royal Instagram account has been going much longer, but they are pretty much, even Stevens in terms of followers at the moment. That might change, but they have both broken the 11 million barrier. I think there has been obviously a lot of increased interest in the royals since Harry and Meghan decided to take a step back. There has been lots of, obviously they've been in the media everywhere, but also this has obviously impacted the Cambridges too. Obviously the Cambridges have been doing, continuing to keep the royal wheel turning. Royal life goes on. They have been doing lots of key important work, and both accounts are pretty much even pegging at the moment. Oh, do we have a troll? Let me just, there we go. Right, I have removed the troll, I think. Did I? Hang on. Right, there we go. I have hidden the troll. So for those of you watching live, the troll has now gone. Marjorie says you've just completed the survey from the Commonwealth. Oh, thank you. That's really, really good. Monroe Taylor says, get well soon, Your Majesty. Thank you very much. I'm sure she's okay. Just not quite well enough to go to that meeting. CP Perry says, I hope people just support them both and not pick Team Sussex or Cambridge. Indeed. Apparently Prince Charles is trending on Twitter. I will just go and take a peek. Let me see. Oh, how do I do it on here? Do you know what I'll do? I will type in Prince Charles in the search bar and see what comes up. So let's do latest. I'm looking live now. There we go. I know he made a speech just not too long ago. Oh, something about pence. Right, I'm not going to get into politics, but it's something about pence. But I will look more into that in detail. It looks, people are saying that he snubbed him, and there's a little 3-second video. Let me just look at that. Oh, he didn't shake his hand. There we go. No, he didn't shake his hand. So there we go. Prince Charles in a lineup. There was Pence, and he walked straight. He shook everyone's hand. I'm seeing it now, and he didn't shake Pence's hand. There we go. That is what is trending on Twitter right now. Right, okay, I'm going to go now. So I've mentioned all the stories that I wanted to today. For those of you who are patrons, I'm doing a patrons only live chat tonight at 7 p.m. GMT. I have sent the link to you, as I always do, on Patreon. So I'm hoping as many of you can join me live as possible for that. So, thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed it, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit that bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, please do remember to subscribe to the channel. So, oh, and I still can't live stream, mobile live stream from Steps of Sussex. So, but do subscribe to that as well, so that when I do, I will be putting lots of Harry and Meghan news on there. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, and goodbye.